male. And then same thing, some of the 5 needs that are, actually there are more than 5. I just pick 5, all right, that are in the column of the male can also bleed into the column, of the female. All right. So on Sunday I'm going to deal, maybe both, but I will deal with conversation for the woman. All right. Now, in us trying to understand the need for the male, which is we said it's not just sex, but it's sexual fulfillment. If you're married or you're getting ready to, of course, if you're single, take this note twice because you will need it. All right. Most houses, you could see it, but if there is anything that is rocking it, is some of these things. All right. You cannot speak in tongues affection. All right. It's an emotional, psychological thing. You have to give it. You cannot speak in tongues sex. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? All right. Okay. Last Wednesday, I made mention of the love bank. All right. You have to be careful who you allow yourself to interact with, because anybody that interacts with you begins to credit into you, because it's a psychological. It's not rehearsed. It just goes. It's credit. I read my case. I rest my case. Come and sit here. Okay. Begins to credit into. Okay. So on Sunday I made a statement. That's why you could see a lady. All right, being in love with an unbeliever. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? It's the interaction, and then she absorbed the affection. All right. Okay. A woman becomes one with the man, psychologically and emotionally, based on the affection that is released, because the affection tells her that she is, important, she is secured, she is safe. However, you come to a marriage, all right, and then the house becomes like a military zone. Does she stay? No, and it becomes a problem, and even within the home, when she goes to the office and somebody begins to release affection, she can't do without it. All right, okay. She begins to flow towards it. So it's important that we, and it doesn't matter whether, okay. Last month, though I don't know why, but generally because now when you teach, you're online and it goes, all right. And Twitter is one crazy toxic environment. So there is this pastor's wife in Abuja, all right, and she came and was trying to, because she was teaching in church, and she was trying to tell them, what happened to her. But while she was teaching, I know what actually happened to her. Of course, she's married to a pastor. They have a good church in Abuja, and then in her office, her boss, all right, started showering her with affection. All right, he will take her for lunch, dinner, and then begin to ask her, what does she want to become? Why does she want to go? I will pay you, I will sponsor. And women cannot do. A pastor, you speak in tongues, affection and speaking in tongues, they are not together. They are just, are you hearing what I'm talking about? Are you hearing what I'm talking about? All right, and okay, but I understood her, because a woman, affection and sex to a woman are not the same. All right. It's only so when they were attacking her, they were saying, no, she must have slept with him. But it's not true, because she doesn't have to sleep with him to feel fulfilled. A woman can receive affection without sex and she's okay. I don't know whether you understand what I'm talking about. Come on, put your hands together. I'm telling you, yes. So she now came home, and this was what she used, because I went to listen to the whole message. Because you see, if you're going to talk, and I'm not here to critique message, and she was saying that, and the people at the time, because she said that she was gone. She was gone. But what she's actually trying to say is that, because you see, the heart of a woman becomes one with you once she knows that you make her feel important, she's valued, and that's where, once you're sensitive, she sees kindness. That's where affection comes in. And so that the husband told her that, well, you need to, and Pentecostal, they bring spirit into everything. So that she went to the bathroom, and then a scripture came, and that's when she knew she received her help. She rushed out. No, it's not spiritual. If you don't want the affection, cut it. You understand? Yes, it's not tongues. You don't speak in tongues on this. You cut the source of what is creating the bonding. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Okay. But however, for her, she has gone deep. So for him to get out of her, that's when she was saying that night she prayed, so that the next day when she went to the office, he looks like a chimpanzee. But Pentecostal can exaggerate some certain things. It's not true. A woman can be attached to you, for life. I'm telling you, because affection is not in the looks. Do you understand what I'm talking about? All right. All right. So if you're a male, all right, is a need that has to be able to, all right. So on Sunday I was dealing with the sex, and if we're to prevent unfaithfulness and affairs, I said prevention begins with understanding, of the difference between the sexuality, of male, and then so we said how different, is that. Well, we stopped at you have to overcome sexual ignorance. You have to communicate sexual, there's 4 levels when it comes to sex for a male. Okay, these 4 stages, it operates with the male and the female, but how they respond to it are not the same. Understanding, if you don't understand, and you as a male, you feel that she should respond the way you respond, you're going to lose your marriage. You're going to have serious problem. The worst thing that can happen in a marriage is when a woman associates you with, it's only my body that you want. There's going to be serious problem. Because a touch to a woman, if it is not affectionate, it irritates and angers her. All right, okay. That's why if a woman is not attached to you, you can't touch her like this. She's going to become like an animal. She's going to get angry. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Because men think that, women, once you touch them, they'll begin to know they're not like you. All right, okay. You can touch her and she becomes extremely angry. All right. Same thing for the husband. If she could do that outside, same thing with the husband. You can't come and begin to hold her breast and thinking that you will turn her on. She's going to get angry. Okay? If the emotional attachment is not there. All right? Okay? And the emotional attachment comes as a result of affection that is released. All right? I told you what affection meant, to her. All right? So, in the stages, we have arousal, we have plateau, we have climax, and then recovery. I'm going to help you, in those stages, so that you can be able to maximize, and all right. And then later, I'm going to help you. Sometimes you don't have to put pressure on a woman to climax. A woman can not necessarily climax, but she actually satisfied. So don't, because sometimes you have people putting pressure, then it now becomes an activity instead of becoming something that you enjoy. All right. Your mind should not be, because it's sexual, fulfillment. Am I talking here? All right. Okay. So I mentioned the arousal, the male and the female, the arousal process occur differently. For the male, it's completely different. It's not rocket science. For the male, to get, 2 ways, there's visual and there's non-visual. For the male, it just happened. For the female, for the non-visual to work for her, she has to have an emotional attachment with you. If she doesn't have emotional attachment with you, she can't look at you and begin to, feel it, for you. All right. Am I talking here? I say, am I talking here? All right. Okay. So, I'm trying to get to where I stopped, I say, am I easily, experience arousal and can happen several times in a day? We mentioned that, it's simply a male characteristic of male reaction. All right. Now, this is where I stop. Arousal in itself don't mean that much to a man. It may occur relatively effortless, and he sometimes experiences it whether or not he wants to have sex. All right. That's why you see a small boy, mothers, if your son just wake up from, and then he's erect. You understand? Because that is a normal male characteristics. He's not thinking about it. Same thing you as a male. You wake up in the night. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? I say, are you hearing what I'm talking about? All right. Okay. And, if you don't understand it, sometimes women might find it difficult when they have their husband either beside them and then they are, all right. Okay. For the man, the sight is, that's why it is important the people that go up on the stage. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Because you can go up on the stage and then you just create confusion. That's why you have to be able to dress decently. Do you understand what I'm talking about? You can't go up and then your breast is showing, or you draw and then I'm seeing a crack of your front, because you want to, it's a problem. I said, do you understand what I'm talking about? Because for a male man, arousal, in fact, sometimes even the way you walk, once he sees a shaking that doesn't understand, he begins to go crazy. Come on, put me down. Come on, put your hands together if you understand what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying that you should dress like deeper life or dress decent, dress good. Am I talking here? Come on, put your hands together. Come on. I said, come on, help the black man so that I can be able to preach. All right. Right. Now we said that a woman can choose whether or not she wants to experience arousal depending on her emotional attachment. All right. Her emotional attachment to a man is connected to some certain qualities. All right. Few of the qualities we mentioned on Sunday, is attentiveness. Attentiveness. Are you attentive to? Do you understand what she's going to? Warmth of personality. It's not face. Warmth of personality. That's why you could see a very pretty woman, and then you look at the person that is, very ugly. It's not in her, in the face. No, the guy is, attentiveness, warmth of personality, kindness, tender sensitivity. All right, to the woman, it does more to arouse her than a special technique that people read. Or a man, okay. So when you meet a man that is having these qualities, all right, it makes a woman feel that he understands her. And he has chosen to care for her. Once a woman begins to associate you that Kagani, and she made a conclusion that you have made up your mind to take care of her, she will now begin to feel, for you. And if that attachment, that's why for married people, you try and create that attachment. Because if that attachment begins to come there now, that's when now, even when you remove your shirt, she can begin to feel for you. Because of the attachment, okay. A man with qualities mentioned, makes a woman feel that he understands. When a woman looks for all of these qualities, she starts to begin to look for them in the eyes of the man. All right. The eyes of a man speaks a lot to a woman. I said it in this place. If you are here and you think that women are dull, it's to your own detriment. Some of the most intelligent beings on earth are women. They might pretend as if they don't understand you, but they understand you. That's why if you're a husband, don't just casually, if she's trying to say, be careful here, don't just casually, because not only do they have physical intelligence, they have intuition, they have discernment. A woman can enter into a place and say that and you're saying, you're jealous. But she's not jealous. There are things that she knows. She picks things in the atmosphere. Okay? That's why a woman can be far away and knows that something is happening with her child. And then you see her running. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay. If you think that they are dull, it's to your detriment. You're going to actually have a serious problem. Extremely brilliant. All right. Okay. So sometimes when they begin to look into your eyes, they're trying to get some certain things. And if they don't get it, they will close up. From your eyes, they will know whether it's just satisfaction of your thirst that you want. From your eyes, they will know whether, am I talking here? All right. Okay. So, am I talking here? Okay. So when you meet the caring man shows by looking at her as if she is special. She means a lot to him. And the relationship, okay, it's all in the eyes. The attention given. Am I talking here? The attention given, all right? And she begins to speak, all right, okay? Every woman wants a spiritual appreciation. She wants to be aware that, number one, she is a person, not just a sex partner. She wants to know, okay? And it is in how you behave, all right? She wants to know that she's not just a sex partner. She's a person, all right? When you meet many women, a man's looks are not necessarily the most crucial. Okay, what will she do with a handsome face, but then iska? What will she do with it? With trim beards, amamugu? That doesn't bother her. You understand what I'm talking about? So that's why men will say, yeah, that's taking the one. There are some qualities that he has. It has nothing to do with face. Come on, put your hands together if you understand what I'm talking about. I said, come on, put your hands together if you understand what I'm talking about. I said, come on, put your hands together if you understand what I'm talking about. You know, and a lot of people will find face as stupid people. Very, very, you know. And I'm not saying that fine face is not good, or it's okay. Try and gather, you know, have dress sense, know how to combine certain things, you know, and things like that. All right. So when you meet a woman, a tender touch, a gentle treatment will mean a lot to her than a handsome face. All right, you know, you're prompt to take her, you know, answer, take her, reply back her message. Attentiveness will mean a lot, you know. And when you meet, you know, a man, you know, can do so much to arouse or suppress his wife's sexual feelings by the way he touches her. You know, you can touch a woman and she will feel as if you are actually, you know, crazy. You just, you know, you don't care about her. It's something that you, okay. All right. Now, when the environment of affection is, you know, set, listen to me. For a woman, the environment of affection, you know, is a constant. If a woman feels convinced that her husband possesses these warm and affectionate qualities, then the woman will begin to decide to engage in a process that will lead to sexual arousal. If not, sometimes you can have a woman in your house married, but she's just not tuned to you. She can stay like that. She has to be able to be convinced that those qualities, you possess them. And when the environment of affection is set, listen to me, for a marriage, for a home, the environment of affection must be a constant. All right? When that is set, then the woman begins to find her husband to become irresistible. All right, that's when she begins to go on you. She begins to, you know. If not, you know, she can just pull. All right, because he shows her tenderness, you know, and kindness. He understands some of the things that he appreciates her. You know, when you talk with women, most of this, there's no appreciation. That's one of the words. You know, he doesn't appreciate me. There's no appreciation. What they actually, you know, appreciation is tied to affection. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? All right. So if the environment is created, then the man will be overwhelmed by the woman's passionate pursuit and vigorous sexual aggressiveness. You know, it's not that the women are not aggressive, okay, but they choose their place. You know, if the environment is set, they go for you. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? And later I'm going to show you there are different types of women. There are some women that they have high energy. There are some women that they are not super funny. They are gentle. You have to understand the wife that God has given you. All right? So that, okay, that is why one of the worst things that can happen to you is when you experiment a lot of, you know, before marriage. You know, if you as a man, you have had multiple sex before marriage, you're going to have serious problem in your house. Because you will want your wife to perform the way, you know, Sintiki has done to you. And Sintiki had high energy. Your wife is not having high energy. In fact, batata gama da aikin gida, aikin makarani, you know, kasuwa, tagaji. So you're becoming angry because when you had Sintiki could do everything and then kuma she's strong. You know, women, am I talking here? Come on, am I talking here? Okay, that's why, listen to me, you don't have sex before you get married. You are going to have serious problem settling in. It's better you are married and then you now have classes like this or teachings and then you experiment because people's body parts and sexual feelings are different. All right. There is a general knowledge, but there are some things that are idiosyncratic to a person. Okay, and it is in that union that you begin to, all right. It's not every part, if Sintiki, if you touch here, it's, for somebody, it's not it. Okay, that's why you could meet, some women who said that for a man, once you touch his crotch, he becomes, not everybody. Me, once you touch my front, I become very, very dead. You don't hold my front and thinking that you arouse me. No, you don't. In fact, am I talking here? Yeah, men, people are different. So as you come together, you begin to understand, each other. A woman will always respond to the fantasy of her ideal man. They have pictures in their mind. And you must be able to enter into that mind and see that picture and do your best to get close to that picture. And most of the picture is nothing but an affectionate man, a sensitive man, a warm man. All right. It doesn't matter if the man is a good guy or a rat. All right. That's why sometimes even money is not so much of importance, to them. It doesn't matter. What really matters is how she perceives him. All right. The aura he created by affectionate and thoughtful action. Her perception does everything. All right. He can have a lot of money. He buys car. I know of a lady who, and the guy is thinking that because he bought a car for her, she should be crazy on him. So that woman was ready to just dump the car and move. So what is it? Because that's not actually what caused them to think. All right. She needs to be able to know, that you are affectionate and you are thoughtful. All right. Your aura. All right. Every male man should be able to create that so that when he moves and come into her orbit, he should be able to, disarm her with his aura. The aura of sensitivity here. Okay, attention. I'm not talking here. Every member, if you don't know how to create aura, you need to come so that I can teach you. I'm just joking. Don't come and begin to mount pressure on me. I'm just joking. Are you hearing me? I don't know how to do it. Don't come, just be a good person. Be a good person. All right. Know that God will never give you a snake if you ask him to give you a wife, a good woman. And if God gives you a gift, then you need to treasure it because it's not her. Okay, you're actually dealing with the the giver, of that gift to you. Once a woman, and this is where I'm going to decide to be aroused. All right, we're going to trouble now. Then, I'm talking about your wife. Then she becomes ready to now begin to respond to your tactile stimulation. If she is not ready, you can touch a woman anywhere. I'm telling you, she cannot respond. If she's not ready. But if she associates all of these things that I have mentioned, and she opens up, once she is ready, then she is ready to receive and respond to appropriate tactile stimulation. And don't behave like a Tarzan. No, be gentle. All right, okay. So she now begins to respond to your caresses, the touching of her body. All right, okay. She can respond to if you touch her breast or her nipples. If she's not attached to you, if you touch her breast or her nipple, it irritates her. Even if you're her husband. Nika, am I talking here? Come on, help me clap. I said, come on, clap. Yeah. Come on, clap. I'm helping somebody here. Yeah. It irritates her. In fact, sometimes it hurts her. All right. The very same stimulation given to an unreceptive woman does not arouse her sexually at all. So don't move with general knowledge. You come in, no, no, don't do that. Once the environment is not, okay, the very same stimulation that, that's why when in the way come on, do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay, you have to be able to create the environment. All right. Okay, that same thing. When you meet an unreceptive woman, that thing doesn't arouse her. Okay, in fact, for your information, it becomes a source of great irritation to the woman. who has not chosen to be aroused. All right. Okay. That's when a wife will now feel as if you raped her. Because you're thinking that it's your right. You want it. You have to have it. You have to give me. All right. Okay. Even if you don't beat her to make love to her, because she doesn't release herself, she'll feel like raped. Even if she says okay, she will still feel like rape. All right. And we don't want that feeling in a married home. Do you understand what I'm talking about? All right. I said, do you understand what I'm talking about? Am I helping somebody here? All right. Now, remember, she now opened up. Then, of course, from that reception, of course, then, intercourse can take place. All right. But, the fact that intercourse takes place doesn't mean, that everything is tight and everything together. All right. For the woman, because that you have to come, there is arousal, there is plateau, there is climax, okay, and then there is recovery. All right, there is arousal, there is Nico, may I start checking with your number? And checking by a cover. Okay. All right. So it becomes wow. Am I helping somebody here? I say, am I helping somebody here? All right. All right. Now, I don't know whether I should explain some things or I should just jump them. I should just jump them. From arousal, a woman cannot get to the plateau. There are some few things that needs to be done. For the woman, there are about 3 things. All right, Now, you have to understand the anatomy of a person. All right. When it comes to sex, major anatomy that is the pelvic, the pelvic area. All right. Okay. There are pelvic organs. There are organs here. All right. And the organ here, are actually sustained by, all right, science call it levator ani. Levator ani is comprised of 3 muscles. All right. One helps you to poo. You understand? All right. One, then there are other ones that help you even in urination. All right, your ability to, you're urinating, and then your ability to cut it. All right, if there is defect on that, that's why some people will wet on the bed. All right, they're having problem with that muscles. Okay, there are 3 muscles. All right. The 3 muscles are pubococcygeus, iliocegeus, and then puborectalis. All right. What I'm going to deal with that handles, your ability to get to, and those 3 also helps in giving birth. All right. Okay. It helps in positioning the head of a child to come out. It's the contractions of those muscles. All right. When you have a problem with those muscles, for a male, those muscles are in both a male. Okay. If a male is having immature ejaculation, he's having problem with his. Okay. They call it the PCM muscle, PC muscles. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. If you are urinating, and then you can't hold it, you're having problem with the PC muscles. All right, for the male. All right. Now, for the female, the PC muscles is vital because the PC muscle helps her to get to plateau. It's the PC muscles also that helps the man in ejaculation. If it is weak, he will have premature. And then, but there is an exercise that you can do to strengthen that muscles. All right. Sometimes just on your own, you can whether you're urinating, try to hold it and try to release it, or not necessarily that you're urinating. All right. Okay. Because it helps. Nika, am I helping here? I say, am I helping here? Am I helping here? All right, because all right, all right. So for the woman, one of the first things that she does is the contracting of the PCM. All right, she begins to contract the PCM. Now, most often, because the man, you see, a man arousal, plateau, and orgasm is crazy. One of the dolo, when it comes to sex, is a man. He will just call a boom, and then he's just like that. All right, don't abuse him. That's why knowledge is important. All right, and then the man, if you know that, then there are and then frustration begins to come, because for a woman, if these three things are not there, the contracting of the PCM, all right, the movement of her pelvis, and then assuming a good position, she has to be able to assume that position because she knows what she wants, However, when she begins to do these three things, most men miss it. And when men miss it, you see, a man, once he ejaculates, he becomes Kaman Samson, one day in I don't know whether you understand what I'm talking about. Am I helping somebody? I say, am I helping somebody? All right. Now, both for the woman and the man, the timing, all right, but the man cannot sustain her time. Because it takes a woman between 10 to 15 minutes to get to her plateau. It's difficult for a man to be experiencing that level of movement around him for 10 minutes. And once he comes, everything becomes useless. That's why, you don't have to put pressure on a woman, because a woman doesn't have to come to enjoy sex. Because for her, it's in her mind. Am I helping somebody here? I say, am I helping somebody here? All right, okay. Because there's a general distance. You have to, climax, maybe we come together. It's not a rule that will take you to heaven. Because now you begin to create untold pressure in a home, and then it becomes a mechanical activity, instead of, all right, okay. So when you go a few minutes, in this, physical stimulation, usually will, bring a woman that is aroused to what we call a sexual plateau. Most men, there are men, in fact, some men, immediately they are touching the laps of their women, they are hitting the plateau, they are hitting the next one. And it's just a problem. So now she is all right. Because you see, a man can from 0 to 100 degrees Celsius in seconds. Not a woman. Women are like hot plates. A hot plate, when you put it on, you can put your hand on it, right? And it's still not hot. You can put your hand on it. Okay? But it builds up little by little. Okay? When it builds up, it becomes red hot. Even when you switch it off, you can't put your hand on it. That's who a woman is, not a man. A man can, from get-go, get hot and get zero at the same time. And that's where the problem is. Oh, no. Oh, no. Come on. Oh, no. Come on, put your hands together now. You're making me very, very... All right. So, so from the so the plateau is the best stage. I actually wrote the best stage, of lovemaking. Is the best stage. If you miss that stage, then, all right. While women need, are you guys putting me straight? Just look at me straight. While women need special and intense stimulation to reach the plateau, men need much less stimulation. You see where the conflict is? We're different. All right. For the man, in fact, intercourse in itself, almost always is sufficient, for men. And most men will reach plateau with less stimulation. You don't even have to do much to them. Boom, they are in their plateau. All right. However, unfortunately, the woman needs more, because she doesn't get to that place the way you get, just like that. you know. And the problem is that because she needs more and he needs less, it now creates a common sexual problem. All right. One major problem is premature ejaculation. Most men, that's a struggle. And that's where frustration comes. Because for a man, once he ejaculates, he 100% loses interest in sex. Okay? If you have a fool and doesn't know how to deal with that, a problem is going to actually, ensue. All right. Okay. Premature ejaculation means he comes to a climax too soon. So that's he can't hold it. And that's where, so in fact, and you as a woman, don't use that to abuse your husband. 2 minutes, when you want 1 minute, no, don't do that. Am I talking here? I say, am I talking here? If you just look at me straight. All right. So if you know that stimulation, that's why the need for, for the foreplay. Okay. There are some men because and don't use drugs or machine. Don't use drugs or machine. Don't use drugs as a male to hold yourself. You're going to have serious problem in life. As a woman, don't use machine. No human being can compete with a machine. A machine is a machine. Once you venture into machine, nobody can handle you again. Come on, put your hands together if you understand what I'm talking about. You better learn, understand, experiment, you understand. And then you as a man, don't use drugs. She's a human being. Don't hit her with drugs. Don't hit her drugged. Am I talking here? I say, am I talking here? I say, am I talking here? All right, okay. So, don't eat our drugs. The Shengia, the Sheng Abuachikinwa, the Sheng Itatua. Don't do that. The Kule Kule Abubua. Don't do that. You're going to have problem going forward. All right. So, the problem is that for many men, am I teaching the right thing? If I'm teaching the right thing, come on, put your hands together. Shamaki kikaleng de kyo. Very soon that he aure. Kasaka hanunta haka kamambata so. Look at me straight. I'm helping you. Where's your husband? When's the kuna gasuna the kunya nambalai is not the balai. Look at me straight. This month, next month, you get married, right? You better pack all of these teachings and listen to them over and over. All right. So the challenge is for the man to maintain the plateau stage without, Bama Kansa Kunya. In fact, for him to, and it's difficult because when the man reaches plateau, she has not yet reaches plateau. Plateau is different, okay? And the man must be able to hold on for 10 minutes. And it's very difficult for most men. Because it takes for a woman about that time to get there. And then another 5 minutes to climax. In fact, the window of 15 to 20 minutes. And, okay. So you have to learn to hold. So the challenge is that men commonly climax before their wives have enough stimulation to enjoy the plateau. All right, and then reach the climax. A woman can be okay just at the plateau. In fact, when you meet, I told you that there are women are not the same. There are some with high energy. There are some with low energy. Some with this low energy, they don't even want this stress of having to climax. So it's not so much important for them. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay. The most important thing is, the affection and the, okay. Now, even the best intentioned man needs training to achieve this goal. 15 minutes. So you need training. Okay, and I'm not the one that will train you. I'm your pastor. I teach you spiritual things. So you have to be able to know. You have to be able to know, because for a woman, you can kiss a woman passionately and raise her in plateau. You have to learn that. Because if the stimulation, you can't handle it. Do you understand what I'm talking about? I said, do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay, so if you don't know, because for a woman, kissing is one of the most intimate, how do I put it, in her life. All right, okay. And then, of course, you as married people, you have to know, your erogenous zones. All right, something that can help you reduce that time. So you as a man, you have to, find out something that can help you. All right, okay. Once that is done, then you can reach the place where we call climax. In climax, I don't know why they are not putting the thing that I've given them. Okay. There are two things that happen in climax. It's either you have ecstasy or you have anxiety. All right. Most homes have anxiety. Most people, most homes, have anxiety. All right. Because, whether you read, I don't know, some people will just go and carry unnecessary pressure. There's a pressure on couples, to reach climax at the same time, simultaneously, for optimal, pleasure. That's not a ticket to heaven. Don't bother yourself. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? I say, are you hearing what I'm talking about? All right. Okay. Because this pressure will make you to have anxiety. All right. And the reason is because that level has been distorted. Okay. And most couple have lost the sight of the entire lovemaking experience. All right. So most of them, in their effort to reach their goal, they become extremely anxious and frustrated. When a couple feels anxiety rather than enjoyment of each other, then they are putting too much importance to performance and not enough on enjoying each other in their lovemaking. All right. You have to just enjoy each other. All right. Because lovemaking is not performance. All right. Okay. Don't watch movies and think that is lovemaking. It's not performance. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? I say, are you hearing what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's enjoyment. It's not performance. It's not that you're trying to. No. Don't allow movies. Don't use movies to rate yourself, or some of these useless skits that you say, okay. Any woman that knows how to reach a plateau most often is always just a step away from climax. It only takes more time and stimulation. However, listen to me, studies shows that most women don't really find reaching climax worth the effort it takes to do so. All right, because you see, it's work. That's why most of you, when you're done, all of you are sweating, right? Because it's work. Your heart is beating, and things like that. All right, okay. The challenge for the man again is that, you see, once you come into lovemaking, the temperature of the woman rises up. There's something about a man sensing that temperature with his genital. There's something that it does to his brain. That's why sometimes, before you could say Jack Robbins, he's gone. Because that temperature is not a normal to him. It activates something in his brain. All right? And that is why a man, you must be wise to avoid that as much as possible. All right? Until you are able to bring her to a particular place. So that you can be able to hold. All right? Okay. Do whatever you can and reduce the time. If it is 10, 15 minutes, help her. Okay, without necessarily experiencing some of the things that comes, that will mess you. Am I talking? Nick, am I helping somebody here? Okay, so when it comes to climax, don't put pressure. Allow your wife to decide whether she actually wants to experience it or not. If she doesn't, because for the man, it doesn't take anything to reach climax. After 1, 2, boom, boom. Okay, allow her. Let her decide. Because there are some women that might not. Okay, women are not all the same. All right. Based on studies, some women, there are some women that have abundance of energy. It is those type of women that usually choose to climax whenever they make love. Women are not the same. And when you get married, you must know the type that you marry. Is she the gentle, cool, collected one? Or she's the Mezbati Nama? Okay? If she's not Mezbati Nama and you are putting expectation on Mezbati Nama, you're going to have serious problem. Because the ones that are cool, gentle, and collected, most of them, they don't even want to go through that stress, of climaxing. Because for every woman, whether Mezbati Nama or Abun, there's a place they get their enjoyment. Women with less energy or women who feel tired after a long, hard day often choose not to. All right. Now, men on the other side, whether full of energy, whether exhausted, whether low energy, whether high energy, anytime they climax, anytime. Because for them, it requires very little effort. It doesn't take, okay. Now, listen to me. For you to have a very good sexual relationship, the differences have to come in. This difference of effort has to come into account. That's why your sexuality, that's why you need to talk, you need to discuss. You don't just close your mouth and then begin to get frustrated. No, sit with your wife, with your husband. You need to talk. You need to understand your anatomy. You need to understand, all right? Talk. Am I talking here? I say, am I talking here? What a sensitive man will do is that a sensitive man will never put pressure on his wife to climax. Because he knows that she may enjoy sex without that. A woman can enjoy sex without climaxing. It's not a rule. So anxiety over whether or not to climax has no place in a fulfilling sexual relationship. Don't feel that you're a failure, if no. All right, okay. She is satisfied. Sometimes she is satisfied just looking at you climaxing. Since there is affection, all right, she's satisfied when she helps you. Just that she's okay, she's satisfied. So don't mount that pressure, all right, okay. Now, after that, is the afterglow. The afterglow is where we have serious problem, because in the afterglow, in the recovery, I call it, afterglow or resentment. The recovery. In the recovery, you can lose that place. Because when you meet a very insensitive man in recovery, then you're going to lose your wife. All right? Okay. Good description for that is afterglow. All right. The reason why I call it afterglow, because it is expected that both partners should be lying in each other's arm, feeling completely fulfilled. Listen to what I said. Both partners. All right. Now, but this is where the problem comes. Because the man and the woman do not share the same instincts after climax, this ideal state eludes many couples. All right. Don't finish making love with your wife and then you stand up and go to the shower. Don't. That's one of the most insensitive things that you can do. That's worse. If you have an unbeliever, you see, an unbeliever thinks that even the semen is haram. So they say, then they don't pick buta, and that's why most women in that kind of home, most of them are frustrated. Okay, the reason is the dynamics. Am I talking here? And most men, this is what they do because they don't understand this. Okay, so instead of you experience afterglow, resentment begins to come in. All right, because men and women do not share the same instincts. I will help you. When you meet a woman, I don't know, but characteristically, a woman doesn't fall from climax to non-arousal. No, she doesn't do that. A man can fall, he can go from 0 to 100 degrees. He can go from 100 degrees to 0. That's a man. A man can just from climax, boom, to 0. Not the woman. A woman, the way she climbs, that's how she comes down. Okay. Somebody began in enough for that one. The way she climbs. Okay. So a woman, when she climax, she doesn't come to arousal or non-arousal. No. When she climax, the next stage she goes to plateau. And at that point, she can climax again. She goes to plateau, then she goes to arousal. Even at arousal, she can move to plateau and climax again. Not the man. The man from climax, he goes to 0, non-arousal. And a man, immediately he climax, he loses interest in sex. All right. So one of the worst things that happens to him is that because, he loses interest in sex, he just stands up and goes to wash, and then he starts sleeping. Now, no woman sleeps immediately after lovemaking. In fact, for a woman, it takes them about 1 hour to 1.5 hours awake. And that's where they begin to hate you. Because now they are awake and they are hearing you snoring. And now they conclude, Shegen and Ambanzakoi. Damajikina Neko and also Jishi. Am I talking here? Oh. And that's where you can lose your wife, lose your marriage, and lose your home. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay? So what actually is supposed to say, because for a woman, once she hits there, sometimes you don't have to do anything. Even though you lose sex, even when you hold her, she can jerk and go back, experience it, come down again. Okay? A wicked man will forget about everything, stand up, wash himself. So she now think that that's the only thing that you're looking for is to get your satisfaction. Because a woman from climax, she doesn't go to arousal or non-arousal. No, she goes to plateau. And plateau is intense. And from there, if she decides, she can climax again. Am I talking here? I say, am I talking here? All right. So, if you're married or you're getting ready, be prepared to stay awake for 1.5 hours. In fact, don't sleep until she sleeps. Okay? Now, another thing that happens at that point is that, you see, when a man releases seed into the woman, not only does her physical womb receive the seed, at that point, her emotional womb is also open. So it is at that point that the desire for affection has gone times 10, raised to power 10. It's more than the normal affection that you used to give her. That's where they become frustrated when you go. And it is at that time, anything you tell her goes right into the womb of her mind. That's when you tell her she's beautiful. That's when you tell her you enjoy. That's why when you tell her she's wonderful. That's where you tell her she's everything. When you are telling that thing, in fact, just digital stimulation can even make her climax again. Am I talking here? Come on, put your hands together if you understand. Okay. And it is at that point that bonding. You see, a woman bonds with you based on what you say. But it's not anywhere and anytime. One of the most potent moments to speak is at the afterglow, is at the recovery. Because at that time, because a woman receives from every angle. At that point, even the follicle of her skin receives small touch. She receives the seed so she can become pregnant. All right. She receives the seed of your words. So she becomes emboldened. You build her confidence. You build her. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Yes. Okay, and it is at that point now she begins to become one with you, so that next time, even when she sees you removing your shirt, she's aroused. Or the aura that you create. Even when you just come in, she senses the aura. She's already, every man, if you don't know how to create aura, you're in trouble. Am I talking here? Come over, it's your kindness. Come on, put your hands together if you understand. I said, come on, put your hands together. I said, come on, put your hands together. During recovery, men, do not have the same feelings. All right. And so many men find themselves totally uninterested in sex within a minute of a climax. A dangerous thing to do is to respond to that feeling. If you respond to that feeling, you're going to lose your wife. You're going to lose the home. Don't jump and go and wash your body. Don't. Before you wash your body, make sure she's asleep. And it will take about an hour. That's where because remember, I told you she's like a hot plate, right? So even when you unplug, at that point, you can't put your hand on. Because when you unplug a hot plate, it doesn't become cool immediately. It takes time. Do you understand? That's how she is. Because at that point, she's already there. So, do you understand what I'm talking about? Yes. And she can burn you. Okay, that's where many honeymoons are being destroyed by such insensitivity. Very insensitive people. And basically it's because you lack knowledge. Alright. So now what do we do? I have 5 minutes, I'll sit down. Each couple must work out for themselves a proper sense of timing at recovery stage. You see, when you talk like this, some people they you're just going to farm, or some of you understand, but you get married, that's a farmer. I'm telling you. When some of you, they don't just enjoy it, they are out. Very frigid. And this one is not prayer. You don't bring prayer here. Come on, put your hands together if you understand what I'm talking about. You don't speak in tongues. A man should be ready to bring his wife to an. Okay, you have to. All right. So, in conclusion, now I want to help the woman because of the anatomy of the man. Don't allow. You must not take your husband's sudden loss of sexual interest as a rejection to you. Women don't do well with rejection. That's why I said that it's very insensitive for you too. Because a man, once he climaxes, he loses interest in sex. Alright? How you behave. If she interprets it as rejection, you're going to have a problem. Alright? But you as a woman, alright, as he's doing his best, don't conclude that he didn't enjoy or he's rejecting you when he loses interest. Because a man loses interest 100%. Whenever his, sex drive hit low, momentarily, it doesn't mean that he no longer loves you. It's his makeup. You have to understand that. Don't think as if, you didn't perform or he didn't enjoy. No, it's his makeup. Am I helping here? I say, am I helping here? All right. So, few things to note in 2 minutes. Number one, when a man learns to be affectionate, general knowledge, his lovemaking will become very different. All right. Every man here, don't be selfish. Forget about yourself. You must be interested in satisfying your wife. Okay, the challenge is that the man's interest in satisfying his hunger for sex most of the time mollies his wife more than anything else. When you feel it, you're not an unbeliever. Allow self-control. Don't just, in all costs, I must get it. Don't. All right? Okay, and don't use all kinds of, because most often your technique is insensitive to her feelings. If she's tired, understand. Help her unwind. Help her. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Don't sit in the parlor and you're thinking of sex by 10, and she's in the kitchen, and you are thinking of sex. You must be stupid and crazy. Go and reduce some of the load if your mind is on sex later, so that you can have enough energy. Come on, put your hands together. I said, come on, put your hands together. You know, because kunji ai gitare ta dawo da dare ta dafa muku abinci kafin ta sa yara a barci kai ka sai ka kana ta mike kana jira, and then in bata respond ba sai kana fushi. No, that's not how to do it. Don't be very insensitive. Am I talking here? You know, Hepa, kana wannan kai ma yaran wanka charatu, I mean, kana yi, they will reward you later. Come on, put your hands. That reward him later. Am I talking here? When you're very insensitive, he uses his wife's body for his own pleasure, while she gets more and more infuriated. That's where anger begins to come in. After all this, the second thing that you need to note is that if a wife wants to enjoy meeting a husband's compelling need for sex, don't just simply make your body available on a regular basis. All right, but commit yourself to learning to enjoy the sex relationship as much as your husband do. You must commit to, okay. It's not just you just give your body, your participation does something to him. If you're not interested in what he is doing, he doesn't get satisfied. All right. So there will be effort. There should be effort on your part. Commit yourself. All right. Okay. Then the last one. If a wife is going to enjoy sex, all right, she will need help from her husband. All right. So you need to be able to talk. If he does not give her the affection and tenderness she needs, she will feel he is insensitive and uncaring. If you want your wife to enjoy sex, help her. The only way you can help her is the affection. Be kind to her. All right, okay. And have I helped somebody here? Come on, put your hands together. I said, come on, put your hands together. Okay. Nothing wrong. Is your wife. He's your husband. In telling him some of the most sensitive parts of your body. There's nothing wrong. Okay. There's nothing wrong. Just talk, because some of those most sensitive parts, they help you, as you begin to build the bond. All right, okay. So don't forget, the one thing that the woman can never do without is affection. The one thing that the man can never do without, is sex. However, you cannot enjoy sex alone. It has to be together. Is that okay? I say, is that okay? I say, is that okay? All right. Our time is up, and I want to, if already I have given out an assignment for sexless affection, I will encourage, every man that is married, do your best, and build that connection, with your wife. Your wife becomes bonded to you, through affection. Hallelujah. Well, we're going to take communion. We're in family month, and one of the things that we desire, is our homes, stay under open heavens, where all the favors, and the blessings of God rest on it. I want to announce to somebody here, you cannot stay covered for too long. All right? The bushel is about to be taken over your life, and you're about to come to notoriety. Your days of obscurity are over. Somebody didn't hear and even understand what I'm saying. Favor is coming on you. I say favor is coming on you. I say favor is coming on you. All right, okay. You're about to be brought to a place of where you will be noticed. Okay. God is about to remove that thing that is covering you. You cannot stay covered for too long. All right. You're about to come to the place where you will be noticed in the name of Jesus. All right. Let me announce to you, that hardship doesn't last for too long. And God told me to tell you that the expiry date of some of the things that you're going through has arrived and is ending now in the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. I want you to release your faith, even as you participate, on this communion table, release your faith. All right. The bushel is about to be taken off of your light. All right. Favor is about to become constant with you. Struggles is coming to an end in the name of Jesus. The same night that he was betrayed, he took the body, he breaks it. Father, when your body was beaten, we received healing. I speak health